Hey everybody, Elgin here, eXp Realty, the Elgin and Pilar Walker team. And right now I want to have a quick discussion on, you'll see the term EMD in a real estate transaction. What is an EMD? Well, EMD stands for earnest money deposit. So what is the earnest money deposit? Well, when you are purchasing a piece of property and you are opening escrow, to show good faith and commitment, the buyer puts up a deposit. That deposit is negotiable. Now you will see at here that there's generally a percentage that most listing agents are hoping or looking for the buyer to put down, so that there's some skin in the game and the buyer showing a true commitment. It is negotiable what the earnest money deposit is. So let's suppose that you are buying something for $500,000 and you're putting your let's say you're putting 10% down as your down payment. Well, your earnest money deposit is part of the down payment that you're going to be coming up with. So it is not in addition to, it is part of. So let's suppose that you were putting, say, a 3% earnest money deposit. Well, if you're putting 10% down at close of escrow, you're looking at another 7%. And then, of course, any closing costs that you have. So it's not on top, it's part of. And that is to open escrow. And as part of opening escrow, you'll have different contingencies that we'll talk about on a different video, which keeps moving the transaction along in the direction that it's supposed to go in a timely manner. And in those contingency periods, et cetera, as you are signing off on things, you've done your physical inspection and you're satisfied, or you've negotiated something and you're satisfied, your appraisal comes in, the value's there, you're satisfied, you get loan approval is there, and you're ready to close escrow. At that particular point, you are moving forward and getting ready to close. Now, with your earnest money deposit, is there any way that you could lose your money? Well, as long as you're following the contract and you're pursuing it based upon the contract, then the odds of that happening are not strong. But if for some reason you sign off on your contingencies and then you pull out of the transaction, generally for something that, say you just decided you don't like the property after 30 days and you're supposed to close in 30 days, there's a strong possibility that your deposit, your earnest money deposit, could be in jeopardy. But all that's on a case-by-case basis. And the majority of the time, the earnest money deposit is quote-unquote safe. Now, remember this as well. When you have your earnest money deposit in escrow, that money, strictly if there's a dispute between you and the seller, that money cannot be released to either party, buyer or seller, until there is a written agreement, a written cancellation and agreement signed by both parties of where the money is going or how much of the money is going. And if your buyer and seller can't come to it, it basically has to come from a court order. That's where your arbitrations and all that stuff come in. Okay? But what your earnest money deposit is you put in escrow, to open the escrow, and it goes towards your down payment. Any other questions on that, feel free to reach out. We love to assist, help, and educate families as best as we can.